Hello again, Ted Clayton here. This video is on the phenomenon that's called the home. In many conspiracy theory circles, alternative truth circles, this is something that's been discussed, and particularly when it comes to targeted individuals. Does this thing, or what is this thing? So to my understanding, and this video not so much is an explanation, you can find out on your own, do your research on your own, but observations that I've had. So to my understanding, what it is, it's not so much that one is being targeted, although it can be a sign. What it is one is able to tap into electronic fields that most humans are not sensitive to. And now, if we wanted to go a bit further down the rabbit hole, the theory is that other entities exist, or these electronic fields are catered to these other entities, so one is tapping into them. And what is this phenomenon described as? Some describe it as a low-frequency hum that they hear in the distance, and something that they hear night and day. Again, there's not that much information in the one video that I saw is from a gentleman or a site, I'm not going to say a gentleman, it could be an alias, or from a channel on YouTube called Tom West. And if the video is still up, because the guy's been raising videos frequently, the guy it discusses there more in length. And from, again, my understanding is that the sound is in your head. Only you can hear it. So, again, this is not something I experienced. This is an observation that I'm sharing. And particularly why I wanted to share this is because I had an experience at a place I used to work at, and I wanted to share that story. Just throw it out there. So a few years ago, I was working for the city. I won't say where, but it's probably easy to connect the dots. It was a customer service or a call center place. And I got a phone call. It's all intake calls. Again, kind of giving the place away. Someone called. I want to say it was a Caucasian woman. Sounds like a young woman, millennial. They were from Brooklyn, if I remember correctly, and they said that they experienced, or they were hearing this hum in the distance that kept going on for days and days and days. And they would ask people, no one else, her neighbors, no one could hear it, but they could hear it. So she just thought maybe she was being quote-unquote OCD, or maybe she was just, people were just tuning it out. It wasn't that. It was the person might have been tuning into something. Sometimes people don't really pay attention to things. It's sort of in the background, not in the foreground of their consciousness. So it's something like that. And we're talking. I couldn't give them an answer because I didn't understand what this was. I never heard of it before. It was after I saw this video, which was 2 or 3 years later, that I said, oh wow. That was like the phone call that I had gotten. So what I did was I started, just asking questions, probing, to just try to, again, taking a common sense approach. Is someone doing construction? Is there some kind of art installation in the area? Could be something like that. I actually worked on art installation I helped with one at Dia Beacon about 10, 15 years ago, where what it was someone projecting sounds from loudspeakers outside of the museum. So they'll have speakers just in random places outside the museum, and at intervals, they would just, what it was an ascension of tones. So, but it was just to create sort of this sonic bubble. So every hour and an hour, you just hear this pitch rise, and then it just drops. It was pretty cool. It's kind of interesting. But again, right, just taking a common sense approach. Is this an art installation? Again, somebody doing construction? Just asking questions. They said no. And we couldn't figure anything out. I let the person talk, just to, because they did sound frustrated. So I just let the person talk. I kept asking more questions, but we couldn't find anything. And I felt like the person was just relieved to just talk to somebody about it. So yeah, that was that. So if any of you guys, or if this is the person that called me, if you guys are experiencing this, that's what might be the case. And again, the way that this person described it, it's one of those things where, I had like a real movie moment where, how when something happens, you have like flashbacks. So in the movie, there's the montage of the flashback, and then you hear like someone echoing something. So when I saw this video from the gentleman, Tom West, he says, it's a sound that's heard in the distance. And then all I heard reverberating and delaying in my mind was the distance, the distance, the distance. So, and then it brought me back to that phone call. So I said, oh, wait. Oh boy. That might be what that lady was talking about. So, again, I don't know too much about this, but just throwing it out there, something for you to research and look into it more. And again, the most important thing, if I were to give my 2 cents, is that one, it's in your head, so no one else is going to hear it. It's just something you have to deal with. Allegedly, governments know about this, deep states, secret societies, they know about this kind of stuff. So, it's one of those things where you're alone in it, so, you just have to find your own coping mechanism with it. I do believe, if I remember correctly, the video, they did provide some solutions, turning off electrical grids, turning off appliances in the home. But again, you'd have to go to the video. Again, the gentleman was Tom West. And if the video's still up, because the guy's been deleting videos. If not, that is the gentleman's name. Look around, but that is definitely, that might be a thing. All right, thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day.